Hey Plant Pals, Mike the Kale Gardener, and this is a quick unboxing and setup of the Zmhoo hydroponic garden system. I'm going to grow kale that I got from T-Nog, Miss Linda, the New Orleans gardener, and this is going to be part of my Winter Indoor Grow 2022, WIG 2022, hashtag WIG 2022. Just so you all know. Join in. It's open for everybody. It's an open collaboration. Anybody can do it. The only rules is you drop a seed and grow it inside. No cuttings, no buying starts. There may be a prize or two, but that's not the whole point of this collaboration. This is just for fun, at least for the first year. It's hosted by GT Junior Grows It Alaska. He's an awesome guy. Check out his channel. But yeah, I'm going to set this up and show you how fast and easy it is to set up a hydroponic unit. This used to be the spot where I had that Pizarmi, whatever the name of that system is, that had the orange spice, or I'm sorry, the orange hat cherry tomato growing in it. It was fun to grow. And then I had my Aero Garden sprout here that had the basil tree in it. But I want to grow something else. And this sits right next to me on my sofa as I relax and watch television and play my games and whatnot and watch streams and videos and relax. So it's kind of nice to see, especially in the middle of wintertime, something green and growing. And plus the light. This is kind of a dark area of my man cave here, so the light helps. I actually have a light on right now, but it's not really helping that much. You can kind of see the light coming over. One thing I do want to talk about is I have a vent here. Now in the wintertime, not a problem. It will blow warm air, of course, onto the plants. But in the summertime, it'll blow cold air. And so what I do is, you can see that cardboard back there, I kind of put it so it blows more towards the room, in the middle of the room, and not directly onto the plants. And I also, if in the past you've seen, I had foil, aluminum foil, kind of draped around it to protect it. But let's see if I can grab this quick. I'm going to try to do a setup where I have mylar and I have some bamboo stakes that I'm going to put on the edges here that are going to stick up, and hopefully that will provide a block for not only, and then plus two, like I said, this is next to me as I watch television, and the light will reflect on the TV, off the TV, and that's not very great for watching TV. So I need to block the light. Now some people do things where they put like sewn covers and stuff over their units, and I don't think that's the best thing you can do. Plants like airflow. This is not going to cover the plant at all. This is going to just block two sides of the unit, one to protect it from the air conditioning and the other one for my television. All right, I'm going to open the box. I won't do like a complete unboxing. I've set this unit up before. You can go back and watch that video. I got a couple of them actually. So I'm going to take everything out and get everything kind of laid out and show you what goes where. And I'm going to get these kale seeds dropped. All right. Be right back. All right. Got it out of its box. So I'll show you kind of like what comes in the box. Kind of do a quick little talk about it, just in case somebody hasn't seen my other videos. Shame on you. But yeah, I'm going to talk about like what makes a hydroponic unit good. One is, the thing I like about this particular unit, I'm not sponsored by them. I paid for these with my own money. The thing I like about this particular unit, and there's many units like it, do your research, is you have these magnets back here. And so in a lot of units, the light bar will be in the center here. And the problem with that is it takes up room for your plants. For this, let me I'm gonna pause it for a second and extend the light just so I can cut my own stuff off. Pause it so I can make it easier to show you. See how this is how tall this light unit is. I think it's like 18 inches or 20 inches, something like that. You hear that? It just magnetically snaps on to the back of the unit. And then so this has plenty of room for my plants to grow. The holes here are for the stakes that come inside with the unit. So like if you have something like a small tomato and it gets heavy with the or pepper and it gets heavy with the fruit, the stakes help support it. Or if you get something leggy like a dill, and I did a demonstration with that with a bamboo skewer, how you can take a small plant twist tie and twist tie the plant to the skewer and it'll make it grow straight. So anyway, I can take this, and I love that this comes off. Some people don't like it because they complain that they knock it and it comes off, but big deal. Snap it back on. It's not like it doesn't hurt anything. And it makes it actually really nice for cleaning because you can just take the entire bowl over to your sink and not have to worry about the light. That's your plant food. I can just tell by listening to it. There's my power supply. I can just tell by the feel of that. That's how many times I've opened a hydroponic unit. Here are your baskets where the soil sponges grow, which aren't actually soil. They're usually like a either a cocoa core or a compressed peat moss with a little bit of a binder to make them stick together. You can use rock wool. You can use whatever you want. But there's the baskets and the little humidity domes. I'm gonna put those in there. These are your covers. So if you're not using all 6 of your covers, which if you're growing something like a tomato, I recommend you don't. So for like this size unit, which this is an 8-pod system, I only use 2 of the pods for when I'm growing something large like a pepper plant. Now you can plant other things around it until they get to a certain point, but you don't want to block the light for your other plants, and you don't want them competing for the food. And that's why a lot of people have problems growing things in these units because they overcrowd them. Not this unit particularly, I mean all units, Aero Garden, everybody, they fill up every single pod, which is fun, but then all of your plants are competing, especially if they're not companion plants. Some plants just are not supposed to be meant to be grown together, and so they compete. Anyway, little garden tip there. These are the stakes I was talking about. These are little plant signs, so you can write on it. There's the sponge I was telling you about. That's the pump. Here's your power supply. You run this, see this channel up here? You just run that cable up the channel. You don't have to be terribly precise. It's waterproof and everything. You just don't want the cord itself to go into the water, of course. It's electricity and water don't mix. And I'll show you, there's the back where the light bar snaps onto. And that's just a magnetic. The only thing that this has is magnet. There's no electricity in here. The electricity runs from here to there. And then if you look on the light bar, there's the 2 plugs. So all the power and everything is in the light bar. There's no electricity in this part of the thing here other than, of course, the pump. But yeah, so I kind of like that design. I wish more companies would adopt that. Some put the light, let's see if I can show it. Some put the power in the back here, like up here, so you have to run the cable all the way up into the back, and I don't like that. I like the fact that it's down low, so it's, you don't have to stretch a cord all over the place. You can, it's closer to the ground. All right. So anyway, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this. So I'm going to put my phone down for a second. I wonder if I could, you know what? I'm going to set my tripod up so you can see all the steps. I'm going to show you start to finish, just because I can. All right, be right back. All right, I got my tripod set up. I got the light on. Things for my soil sponges. This is going to be kind of a pain for me because I have to do it while looking through a viewfinder. So it's not going to be as fast as if I just, did it myself. But, I think that's kind of the fun part about this is me showing all the steps from start to finish. So that's that. I am going to put the plant food in just because it'd be that much easier for me to do it now. This is plant food solution that I've made, of course. I have videos on that. It's 5 milliliters of the hydroponic plant food per gallon of water. I keep my plant food in this drink that you can get at any store, just because it makes it more convenient for me. You can buy, and I actually went and bought one that was on sale. Hopefully that's not too much water. I can always siphon some out. There was a Black Friday sale on one of the Aero Garden water thingies for like $10. So I figured, why not? That's a reasonable price, even though the Arizona jugs were free to me. This just has a spout that makes it a little slightly more convenient. All right, so anyway, back to, you can see this is the float. That lets you know that let me slide this a little more center frame. There we go. All right. So, because I'm doing kale, I'm going to just go ahead and do all 8 rather. And then thin, probably remove some if they start getting too tall and leggy. But for the start, it won't hurt. Because I love kale. And I'm more than happy to grow it in other mediums, such as a cracky jar. So just round benefit. I'll do it that way. The sun just started soaking. Again, I usually like to, because I'm just showing you everything from the bag start to finish, I usually like to soak the sponges, and I even like heat them up just to make sure there's nothing in the sponges that could, like no fungus gnats or anything that were in them, but I'm having faith. Oops. Try to wrap everything. All right. Just that simple. So now I've got my seeds. Normally you would take a tweezers or whatever and drop one seed at a time, or what? Oops. I almost spilled everything all over the place. Which is why you should probably do it that way. Anyway, I'll take a couple of seeds and I'm going to drop them hopefully in the center of each. Oops, and I did not do the thing I always talk about doing, which is taking a skewer and poking down to make sure that the sponge is nice and deep. Let me look at these. They could be better. Be right back. So what I like to do is run the bamboo skewer down the center to make sure the roots have some place to go. Because sometimes when you put these seeds, they will float on top. See, that was another. I would have did it. I would have, if I hadn't been trying to film it, I would have thought about it and done it that way and poked all throughout the sponges. But again, because I'm trying to film it, I of course forgot. All right. Anyway, back to it. Drop some seeds in here. Hopefully I'm not dropping them in the water. Again, it's hard to see. Shoot here. I guess people like watching this stuff. And again, if I don't, if I missed, it didn't get enough seeds in, I can always come back later and do it again. It's not a big deal. It's not like it's a failure. If the seeds don't germinate, you just drop more seeds. That's the beauty of doing it this way. It's so fast that it really doesn't make that big of a difference. Really can't see what I'm doing here. Just kind of using the force. I think I put some in this one. Don't remember. I guess I'll see back on replay. But again, if I over seed, not a big deal. Just pluck them out, put some more in. I mean, yeah, this one move them somewhere else. So yeah, if I wasn't doing this for the camera, I would have been done in like 5 minutes. All right, seed's done. Set those aside. I believe this is the last one to need seed. Put some more in here. Drop some more there just in case. All right, and then what I like to do, of course, is I take, because they don't, the only one thing I would love for these companies to start doing is giving you some kind of a, some give you stickers, which I'm not too crazy about, but I wish they'd give you, I've seen 3D printed covers that you just snap on here, you know, so that blocks the light from getting down in the water. But I find an easy option is just to use some tin foil. Doodle here, poke a little hole, and that gives it. And then I kind of check down to make sure that the hole is over the sponge hole so that the plant knows where to grow up out of. All right, I'm going to repeat that process. I actually will pause it for a minute because I don't know if people want to watch that unless they're really into that. Maybe it's ASMR, I'm not sure, but I'm going to pause. I'm going to make sure I cover all these, and I will be back. All right, I did that. Got the caps. I forgot to put the little water gauge thingy on there to let me know that I'm, here we go. All right. And not to manhandle it too much. Don't want to break it. Oops, I will be right back. I got to grab my weak hydrogen peroxide solution. Again, this is just to ensure germination. It helps with other problems like fungus gnat larvae are killed by it. Dry rot is killed by it. You can also use cinnamon. You know, it's a preventative thing that I like to do. It's not necessary, but it's easy and doesn't hurt, so why not? I find it works for me. So I also miss the insides of the domes. The hardest part is getting the domes apart, separated, because they seem to always want to stick together. Get off. And I typically don't have nails, so it's kind of a me problem, but all right, there we go. So I'm just gonna set these where I can get to them again without restacking them. How many do I need? There's 4, 5, 6. Get off. There we go. It's always the last two. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna give it a mist. Put it on. Mist. Put it on. It doesn't have to be airtight, although it does help with the keeping the humidity in. But what I'll do is every day I'll come by and check it, and if it's too dry, I'll just give it a re-mist. Not a big deal. And looks like they gave me some extras, which is always nice. That's what I love when a company does that. All right, so I got 2 extras. So the water gauge is not up to the top, so I'll go ahead and add some more solution to it. This is your feed spout. But typically what I'll do is I'll just lift up one of the pods and pour it in there, you know, depending on where the unit's set up at. just for my own convenience. Let's put this down here. Be right back. All right, filling this up. Try not to make a mess. Again, trying to look through the camera at it. This water back in there. All right, we're good to go. And you can see the nice thing about this is if you are, see, the thing I like about, another thing I like about this unit is there's a bar down here that you can see that you fill the water up to. So if you have access to this side of the unit, which I do, it makes it easier to see, but some of my other units are close together and it makes it hard to see. So it's nice to have the little floaty gauge here. All right. So all I have left to do now is put the light bar on the unit, which simply involves, so make sure the one is the top one is the pump, the bottom one is the power, and it's skinnier too, so you really can't mess it up. And you just, oops, I got my I got my ring light in the spot. There we go. And of course, I will lower the light. And another thing I like about this unit, compared to a lot of other units, is see how low that light bar goes? It could actually go almost down to the deck. I'm having it, it's touching the, right now it's touching the fill thing. So, you know, some units, they start off really tall, you know, they're way up here, and your plants will start off very leggy because they are trying to reach up towards the light. Where this unit, they don't have to. So I wish more units would do that. You know, because not only does this unit, again, not endorsed by them, I would love to be, but, you know, anyway. The thing I like about this unit is it goes very tall, you know, which allows you to grow taller things like, you know, smaller but yet taller tomatoes and peppers. And it also, like, again, it goes low enough, you know, so you get the best of both worlds. You get the light low enough to get the plants early and tall enough to get them when they're fully grown. All right, well, I'm just going to pause it for a minute, go back behind this thing here, if I can figure out how to do it without knocking everything over. And it's kind of a tight corner here, but I'm going to plug it in, and I will be back. All right, I got the power plugged in. I'm just going to plug the unit in back here. Again, easier to do if I'm not trying to. There we go. You heard the beep. You see up here that there's the power. And I'll redo the time. Right now it's way off the time that I normally want it to come on. But you can see how bright that light is. You have different settings. If I can get it to focus. There we go. You've got power, vegetative, which, you know, is your supposedly non-flowering vegetables like broccoli and whatnot. Not broccoli, but kale and lettuces and stuff. And you got flowering mode, but I usually just leave it always on veg. I never really noticed a difference. I've tried for 3 years to make a difference, and it really hasn't. And there's the pump, which I also always leave running, and it turns on and off every, like, it runs for a little bit every like half hour or something like that. But as you can see, it's got a nice bright light, and I'm going to lower it again down so that it, oops, it's going to touch. See, you have the thing here. I'm going to lower it down so that's just barely touching, and you can see it could go lower. I don't want it to actually touch the sensor. Not that it's going to hurt anything, but you can see how it could even go lower. This could go that much further down. So if I didn't have the water sensor gauge cover on there, I could actually lower it even more. All right, this video's gone on long enough. But that is my winter indoor grow 2022 of the blue Dazzling Blue kale that I was gifted from T-Nog, the New Orleans gardener. And I'm going to try to grow some kale inside over the winter time. We'll see what happens. I've grown other kales inside. I don't know how this variety grows or what it's going to do, but we shall see together. All right. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Have an awesome day.